always amazed how he can get up and speak like that without one note ahead of him. Isn't that amazing? I think he deserves a hand. Kia ora, everybody. That's pretty good. Shall we try once more? Kia ora, everybody. Talofa. Malolelele. Kamusta. Hola. Konnichiwa. And g'day. Those represent some of the diverse cultures that happen within the School of Applied Technology. Some of them I couldn't even say, but it was worth acknowledging the fact that our graduates, indeed our community, are diversifying every single year. And it's been an enriching part of us as a School of Applied Technology to have more and more diverse cultures in our mix. The other reason I wanted to do that was to make it clear that this evening you are participants and not spectators. Because if you're just sitting there to spectate tonight, you're missing out on the joy and the thrill of being part of a team that achieves so much to see these graduates get to where they are. Tonight is all about the celebration of the great achievement that has been achieved in 2013. This journey is all about people, and one of my favourite proverbs says that my achievements are not mine alone, but those of many. This celebration is about the many who have helped you, the graduates, to achieve your goals in 2013. Whatever we participate in, whether it's in sport or business or leisure, the wise first acknowledge that their achievements cannot be achieved on their own. E hara takatoa he takitahi, e toa takatini. My success should not be bestowed onto me alone, as it was not individual success, but success of a collective. And that's exactly the same thing that the All Blacks work by every single game, every single year. Dr. Hampton has already acknowledged that the whānau family and friends, as well as the Bay of Plenty staff, are a big part of this journey of working together. But I'd also like to acknowledge another very important part of our partnership as a School of Applied Technology, and that is our industry and the community that we live in. One of the most important parts of our school vision states in one simple line, us in the community and the community in us. Just before we go on to the graduation itself, I would like to acknowledge our many sponsors from industry who have not only donated some very valuable prizes to students, and you'll see them tonight, but have been an integral part of the learning that has happened throughout the year through work experience and indeed through giving them employment at the end of the year. Sponsors this year have donated to our school over $300,000 worth of resources and equipment, and to us as a school, to which we are very, very grateful. The Bay of Plenty Polytech thanks you. These graduates tonight thank you. And the whole of the community who will reap the rewards of what these graduates will bring to industry also thank you. And I'd just like us to acknowledge the industry that are part of tonight now. Thank you. For some of you graduates, it's been a few weeks. For some of you, it has been a year. Some of you, it has been 2 years of commitment, and some has been 4 years or more. But to all of you, we say congratulations on a job well done. Ki te kahore he whakakitenga, ka ngaro te iwi. Without foresight or vision, the people will be lost. You, the graduates, had the foresight to invest in your education. Now, I encourage you, as Alan did, to have the vision, the drive and the determination to be the very, very best you can be in your selected vocation. Thank you to all of you who have been part of the journey that leads us to this very rewarding and fulfilling evening as we celebrate your achievement. Embrace it, enjoy it, but most of all celebrate it, and don't be a spectator. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Now onto the celebration itself. Just to run through a few things, I will be calling up, actually before we go any further, I'll be asking everyone to turn off their cell phones. Good idea? Good idea. Thank you very much. I'll be calling up each class that's to be awarded their qualifications Over here, one by one, the students will walk across the stage. They'll get given their certificates. Their photo will be taken by our dear photographer here. And don't dare move off that spot until she gives you the nod. You'll get your photo taken, then you'll go behind me over here where you'll be greeted by the rest of the teaching staff that have taught you throughout the year. And then individual prizes will be given at the end of that. After the whole class has received that, then they'll all walk down off the stage, around the back to the seats. So I just want to remind you that this is a celebration. We encourage anyone whatsoever wants to celebrate their sons, daughters, family, friends, parents' achievement by cheering, shouting, doing haka, waiata, whatever way that symbolises the pride that you must feel in these people that walk across the stage this evening. We encourage that wholeheartedly. Remember, celebrate, participate, and be part of this evening. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we ask you to remain in your seats while the staff leave the stage. Then we're going to ask the graduates to come after us, because as staff, we want to honour them as they go through that door first. Then we're going to ask you as parents to join afterwards for some tea and some refreshments afterwards. So without any further delay, I would like to commence the 2013 graduate ceremony for the School of Applied Technology. Be part of it. We're going to start off this evening with the National Certificate in Electrical Engineering Level 3. These students successfully completed National Certificate in Electrical Engineering Level 2 and then continued on with their Level 3 study. First graduate, Young Bake. Damien Beach. Ricky Bretherton. Go for it. Timothy Burgess. Gordon Campbell. Akila Collier. Cameron Fenton. Alex Haynes. Levi Hazelwood. Isaac Keith. Ryan Kerwin. Caleb Mattison Smith. Eugene Molinar Murray. Ephraim Parsons. Andrew Poro. Jade Rare. Peter Taikako. This one. Adam Wilkinson. And Isaac Smith. As I said, industry are very, very generous to us, and so the first of the prizes is the runner-up to the top student, sponsored by Swanson Electrical Wholesalers Limited. And that goes to 2 this year, Young Bake and Adam Wilkinson. Well done, mate. Excellent, excellent. Well done. While they're there, the top student this year, sponsored once again by Swanson Electrical Wholesalers Limited, goes to Timothy Burgess. Woo! Good job, man. Good job. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Certificate in Electrical Engineering Level 3 for 2013. This next group is the National Certificate in Electronic Engineering. A little bit different from electrical engineering, electronic engineering. These students have successfully completed the National Certificate in Electrical Engineering Level 2 and then have continued on with their Level 3 study. This year, first recipient is Maverick Edshead. Sefo Alasana. Shariful Amin. Jared Belowski. Brent Gowan. Bradley Higgins. And Liam Sherry. The runner-up to the top student, sponsored this year by Boonin Electronics, goes to Liam Sherry. Get back here. And this year's top student, sponsored once again by Boonin Electronics, go to Shariful Amin. Well done. Excellent. And just before this class goes, I'd have to say this is one of the things that we're celebrating more and more, and we acknowledge Mike Scott for his amazing tutoring work he does with these students. But this year, as with the year before and the year before that, the Electrical Workers Registration Board, which is a national qualification, High Achiever Award for this year with 98%, goes to Liam Sherry. Cleaning up, all right? Cleaning up. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Certificate in Electronic Engineering Level 3. The next group is the Certificate in Engineering Level 3. These operate out of our very new high-quality workshops, and I'm sure they're reaping the harvest for such good facility. The first graduate this year is George Cheeseman. Logan Flavel. George Irvine. Brendan Lees. Samuel McCauley. Campbell McNay. Jake Sorensen. Adam Steens. Mark Taylor. Paripi Thwaites. Floyd White. And Mackenzie Decker. And the runner-up this year to the top student sponsored by Blackwood's Protector is George Irvine. Fantastic. Fantastic. And the top student, sorry, we should have clapped then. Why don't we do it? A great effort. This year's top student, sponsored by Blackwood's Protector, goes to Brendan Lees. Excellent, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, the certificate in engineering level 3. Our next group is the certificate in welding level 3. Once again, operating out of our latest facilities. A great group this year. This operates 2 times a year, 3 times a year, 2 classes. So this is just the results for those students at the end of the year. Some have already graduated in July. Class 1, Ashton Baird. Danilo Barto. Timothy Haldezos. James Gregory. Zephyr Hawkins. Annette Hurst. Horomona Rota. Vincent Tonganabe. Looking very smart too, buddy. And Derek Watson. And the top student prize this year, sponsored by Sigweld, what else should they get but a welder, is Horomona Rota. And we'll get you to wait on there because we're going to have the second class of the certificate in welding. Peter Armstrong. Wiramu Baker. Kirk Cameron. Michael Durand. Raniera Hill. Luke King. Andrew Leong. Scott McIntyre. Mark McKeown. and Megan Pohatu. And the top student prize for Class 2, once again sponsored by SIG Weld, is Andrew Leong. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, the certificate in welding, level 3, 2013. Thanks, mate. It's now my pleasure to introduce our first guest speaker this year. We figured that the best person to speak about the industry and what happens is someone who's actually gone through what these graduates have gone through now. Our guest speaker tonight is Eduardo Bueno. He graduated from the National Certificate in Motor Industry Level 3 program in 2012, where he was awarded the top student prize. Since then, he has been employed by a highly regarded Ultimate Motor Group, who have been a great advocate of our automotive apprenticeship program. There he is as an apprentice, which he's completing through our online program, which means he can work while he's doing his study. It's a great pleasure. Please invite Eduardo to the pulpit. Thank you.
Good evening all, and boa noite. This good evening in Portuguese. Yes, Polytechnic is multicultural. Well, first of all, when I was invited to come here to talk to you guys, my first thought was, Sean, are you out of your mind? Who's gonna listen to this Brazilian here? But then I decided to come here and make sure I can make a difference in some of your lives. Well, let's introduce myself. I'm Eduardo Bueno, a typical Brazilian guy who likes surf, barbecue, beer. I would say women, but you know, I would have to sleep outside. Well, I would like to thank you, all my tutors, and Bay of Plenty Polytechnic for all the knowledge and all they have done for me so far. And I'd like to thank you, my beautiful wife, sitting over there, for all the big support. Thank you. And thank you to Automotive Motor Group. Is the place I have no regrets whatsoever. Thank you so much for everything, for the opportunity, especially being a foreigner. That's all right. And as I promised to Sean, I made my speech really short. There is nothing worse than a long speech. Trust me, I know, I've been there twice. Getting hungry. Well, everything started back in Brazil when I decided to take the biggest risk in my life by leaving my family, my friends, my job behind to come to New Zealand. All because I got excited about education and all the benefits I could get from it. Personally, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear to failure. And education is much more than a career development tool or a job placement. It's about self-improvement. So I'm here to challenge you to take the risk like I did and get excited about education. It's worth it. During my stay here in Tauranga, I didn't waste time. I started looking for an educational provider where I could learn more about something that I have a passion for. Cars, and everything about it. That's when I found Bay of Plenty Polytechnic, a place where I would transform my dreams and ideas into reality. That's why I encourage all students like me, to use all the resources around you. Your tutors, library, web. Yes, web. You can use web for other things, you know, other than. All you need is right there. After completing my first year, I went looking for a place where I could start my working experience. And I clearly remember that the first place I went in, Automotive, the first thing I noticed was the service manager looking my uniform from Bay of Plenty Polytechnic. And right after asking for work experience, his answer was, "When can you start?" I was really surprised, but it came to me that the reputation of Bay of Plenty Polytechnic is well known in the industry and in the country. For me, that was a sign that I had made the right decision. Completing my second year, I already had a job and one apprenticeship. My apprenticeship program is fantastic. At home, eating, drinking, watching TV. No, forget about that. At home, I can do all my theory assessments online. And if I need any assistance, my tutors in Polytechnic are right there. All my practical assessments are closely monitored by my supervisors. And again, if I'm struggling with any of my assessments, all the facilities of Bay of Plenty Polytechnic are ready to use. The company I work for is already sending me to a specialized course. Like, it's worth it. I told you before. It's sending me to all this specialized course because today it's all about technology, computers. If you don't like computers, it's going to be a little complicated. Even cars, yes, we got computers in cars. Apart from the muscle cars, of course. And it makes me feel appreciated and recognized. But all this is only meaningful if you believe in yourself. Accept responsibility for your life. Know that it's only you who will get you where you want to go, no one else. And remember, if this Brazilian can do it, so you can. Kia kaha, everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
I look quite Brazilian too, don't I? Sort of, no? All right, okay. All right, National Certificate in Motor Industry, which is where Eduardo started, so it seems appropriate that we do it. These students have completed Stage 1 in 2012, then they returned this year to complete Stage 2 of the qualification, so congratulations on a long journey. We're going to have Andy. Thank you. We practiced that about 10 times, Andy. All right, first successful graduate is Reese Buckley. Jared Christophers Pocky. Michael Davis. Joseph Fellowfield. Niraj Gurung. Caleb Hanna. Sean Prius. Ewan Robertson. Alan Skadden. Bryce Summers. Andrew Chong. Mason Turvey Dawson. And Lee Drennan. And this year's runner-up to the top student, sponsored by Repco, is Reese Buckley. Excellent. And the top student this year, sponsored by Value Tyres Limited and Repco, is Joseph Fellowfield. Very popular. Well done, Joseph. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, National Certificate in Motor Industry, Level 3. Our next program within the same group is the Certificate in Preparation for Law Enforcement, Level 3. We deliver this program both in Tauranga and in Hamilton. First recipient this year is Hayden Adams. Adam Bennett. April Bitchin. Rajendra Chauhan. Gerald Chong. Stacey Forkett. Shiloh Harper. Lance Hopper. Timothy Jutsam. Angelique Keys. Alexandria Van Kempen. Peter Latoga. Natalie McKinlay. Laura O'Flaherty. Ashish Prasad. William Reynolds. Havan Ruka. Ruma Smith. Heidi Stewart. Sioli Tuitufu. Ladies and gentlemen, the Certificate in Prep for Law Enforcement Level 3. And operating out of our distribution, road transport warehouse and distribution centre in Malimi Street, we have a series of programs. First program is the National Certificate in Distribution Level 2. First graduate is Taiho Faulkner. Christopher Oteni. Matthew Quinn. Victor Thomas. This program happens 3 times a year, so once again we've already had graduates throughout the year, so this is the last of the cohorts. But it's great, with great pleasure, that once they go from the level 2 distribution program, they go on to the level 3 distribution program. And the student this year is our first graduate of this program and successfully completed the national certificate in 2012, then continued on with her level 3 study whilst in employment within the distribution industry. It's my pleasure to introduce Soraya Gates. And one more, last but not least, Lisa Tunui. Apologies. Now, the certificate in commercial road transport, level 3. This operates out of the same warehouse at 129 Malimi Street. The first graduate this year is Raupurukumu Brown. Hinemi Otene. Rona Marie Otene. Albert Roberts. Zen Taka. And Amanda van den Bosch. This year's Safety Award, sponsored by TR Group and Road Transport Forum of New Zealand, goes to Clement Makamaka Turwhenua. Isn't he yet? Maybe I could take his prize home. The top student, sponsored by NZL Group, goes to Albert Roberts. So the Class 2 of the Certificate in Commercial Road Transport, we have Donovan Bennett. George Burt. Garth Collins. Sean Cronin. Jamie Davis. Michael Harvey. Edward Mackay. Aaron McCall. And Ruth Thomas. All right, just talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Okay. All right, yep, cuddle time. All right. This year's Safety Award, sponsored by the TR Group and Road Transport Forum New Zealand, goes to Edward Mackey. Congratulations, man. Kia ora. And this year's top student, sponsored by the NZL Group, goes to Sean Cronin. Okay, the next group is the National Certificate in Good Service Level 3 Heavy Combination Vehicle Strand. So you can see they're getting further up the size chain. This group completed the Certificate in Commercial Road Transport, as we've seen, Class 2 licence. Then they've continued in part-time study to come back to achieve the Class 4 licence, and then came back again to achieve the Class 5 licence and this national certificate. We're delivering these in both Tauranga and the Waikato region. And this year's graduate is Alistair Clark.